This is your captain speaking, and we've just booked a brand new course. I'm going to walk you through how to create a new course on a client booking. So let's say you've just spoken to Tash from Learning Academy at HCA. Now, this is a simple version, and the reason I'm using that is because there's a lot more details that you're going to need to go through if this is a brand new client. I'm going to use HCA, and of course, that's going to be taking a place at Adam House because you already have all the details that you need prior to actually creating this course. The details that I'm referring to is, the cost of the course. You've got a standardized course template that includes HCA lesson plans attached to it. You've got all the venue details already created. So all we're going to do is book a course. This isn't multiple course bookings. We're going to use a different platform for that. So all we're going to do is Tash urgently needs an ILS course for 12 people on the 13th of May. So I'm going to jump to courses calendar view. This is the easiest way I find to make courses because it's automatically going to give you some information. So if I want my course on the 13th of May, I'm going to jump here to the 13th of May. Now, Tash said that she wants the course to start at 9 o'clock. That's our standard time unless otherwise stated. If you click exactly here, it's in line with my 9 a.m. If the course was going to start earlier, I would jump here a little bit above so that I'm in line on these lines on the top to 8 a.m. If you click differently for any reason, don't worry about it. It's not like you cannot change the course. This is just going to make your life a little bit easier because as soon as I right click on here and I say add class course, once I type in the type of course that I want, so remember creating a new course, it's absolutely imperative that you choose the right course template. Every single course template that we've got in the system has lesson plans and detailed course descriptions all linked in there. That's going to attach it to workflows, which are those automatic communications. So what you want to do is make sure that you've clicked on the correct course template. So all that means is that I know that I need an immediate life support course. This is a full day traditional course. It is not 45-minute assessments. It's not a recertification course. It's a traditional ILS course. Now, if you clicked on anything incorrectly here, you can change this and I'll walk you through, but you're going to have to go through and delete the full course. There's not really a simple way to do it. What you don't want to be having is anybody calling you up as an instructor saying, am I doing face-to-face assessments? I don't have a laptop. I need details. They need to know what course that they're doing. It just causes a bit of a backlog of communication otherwise and a lot of back and forth that you don't need to deal with. So let's click on our correct course. If you were doing multiple courses and you weren't sure of how many delegates I needed, or I wanted to clear up all the standardized information that comes through, make sure you do that through the course template. There's another video on that one of how to create and edit a course template. But for this one, we know that everything's correct in here. It's our fairly standard ILS at Adam House. So this is what I mean when it says it's going to pull information through for you automatically. So your start date's already here for the 13th of May, which is correct. It's the date that was showing in our calendar. So is my 9 a.m. because I clicked on the correct area within the system. If for any reason your timings are incorrect here, just pop into your calendar and you can amend your timings. Maybe they wanted a late start, like let's say in a couple days time, the client says that, actually so-and-so cannot come at 9 o'clock. Can we start at 9:30? Absolutely fine. You just change it from here. We're going to keep it at 9 o'clock though. So it's an 8-hour day. Your course status is available. If Tash wanted to come back to you and say, can I provisionally book something? And I'll confirm to you by end of day tomorrow. Make sure your status depicts that so that nobody's confused about what's going on. So you would put this in as a provisional course. Once again, you can change this if you forgot to do this. So right now we're going to be available. We don't need to choose anything about delivery method. We know this is a standard classroom taught session. It's not a simulation, so I don't need any of this. What you do need to know, because this is based on how many instructors you need, the cost of the course, and the equipment required, this has to be an accurate figure. If you don't know how many candidates are attending this course, go and ask the client. You need to know this because it has too much of an effect on everything else that follows. So we know that this is going to be a 12-person course. Now, Tash might not exactly have 12 people, but she's told me that it's going to be 8. So I know that she needs more than 2 instructors on this course for an ILS. She knows that she cannot cap this at 12, or that it has to be capped at 12, sorry. So we're going to leave 12 there. Now, my trainers, if I was booking this course in, let's say I've got a substantive member of staff who's available, I'm going to save myself a bit of time and already select that person on here. So let's say that Dan was going to teach this course. We're going to click on Dan's name here and say, okay. That's going to stay there now, and Dan's going to be allocated to this course. What you don't want to do, though, is have somebody allocated to a course until you've actually confirmed that they're available. So if Dan's not available for this course, keep them blank. We need to create this course so that everybody in the team is aware that we need an instructor available for this. Now, the venue we know, Tasha's already told us it's going to be at Adam House, so I'm going to save myself a little bit and I'm going to type in Adam House. We'll click on search. And we're going to say it's a 12-person course, so they'll probably use room 4 and 5. Because these locations are all the exact same place, I'm not too worried about which room you choose. If this venue was taken up already, it's going to highlight to you that there's a clash in this. It's absolutely imperative that you know where this venue is held and you know where the course is taking place. Once again, it's attached to way too many workflows that the instructor is going to get. And what you don't want them doing is ending up at the wrong venue. So we're going to hit OK. Now, all of this is your logistical requirements. So we don't have a tracking number. Let's say it was Dan who was going there and he tells us that we need the mannequin sent there. Now it's Adam House, so typically Hassan's going to be the one who's going to be driving there. So we're going to populate this as much as we can with as much detail as we can so it doesn't need to be triggered again when we're doing movement. So because this is a London-based course, we're going to say that it's an internal logistics delivery. So this is going to be Hassan driving this equipment. He's also probably going to be the one who's going to be picking it up. If this was a course that was happening, let's say in Manchester, we know that we're not going to have an internal logistics delivery. We know that we're going to have to do an overnight courier. Unless your instructor was going to bring their own equipment, and then we would choose this one. And then also the same when it goes to collection method. If it's an overnight courier, save the guys on logistics a bit of time. Your course is on the 13th of May. So what we're probably going to do, see what day of the week it is. It's a Thursday. I would probably schedule that to go out on the Friday if we've got the equipment available to have two ILS kits actually sent up on the Friday and make their way there. We don't have to have any of this done at the moment. You can map out what the movement's going to look like and make sure that this gets dropped off on the 11th. At least then it'll get pulled across on the movement sheet. So we have a guess that, yeah, we'd probably like the equipment to go out there then. Then at least it gets there on the 11th. If it doesn't get there on the 11th, we still got time to organize this. So we're going to change these just to make sure that it's accurate. This one, that's fine. AV equipment required. We know at Adam House that we've got everything that's needed. So we're going to leave this blank. What we could type in here is 2 ILS kits. Now, the cost for an HCA course, their full day instructor rate is £580. So we're going to multiply that by 2 and put this in as 1,160. Now, we don't require purchase order numbers from HCA. If we did, it has to go here. If you don't have it at the time of booking, make sure you get it from the client so you can input this details afterwards. It will save you time when you're the one on finance having to invoice this client. Now, if this was a sessional course and you had multiple courses that needed to be attached to it, let's say if it was an adult basic life support course, you would tick this box. But we're going to put that in a different tutorial because there's additional steps that go with that. We want to keep this blank. We want to keep this blank. When the website is up to date, it's going to be pulling all of our activity through. So what we don't want external candidates seeing are all the courses that we have booked for clients. It's going to cause a lot of confusion if they think that they can go to Adam House for an ILS when we all know that they can't. So waitlisting, we don't need any of that, and I'm officially on the bottom of my page. So we're going to make sure we've done everything correctly. We've got our cost in there. It's a per day rate. We're going to do an internal delivery of the equipment. We need 2 ILS kits. We've got our venue in there. We don't have an instructor, so we need to make sure that we flag that. So what we're going to do now is hit save. So this is exactly what I was talking about if this venue was already taken. The following venues have an availability clash. So that means that there's already activity booked at Adam House. If this comes up, you need to go back to your calendar view, although this would have been done at the time of booking, to say that, Tash, you've already got a course running there. Do you have enough space? She might have a pills course, and then it's absolutely fine to run another ILS course. So we're just going to hit yes for this demonstration and say, okay. But it'll show you, that shows you a really good example of what errors might flag. That same type of error would have come up if we did put Dan in as a resource who was going to train this course and he's already allocated somewhere else. So it's automatically going to highlight that for you, that there's a problem with this booking. So now the only other thing that we need to do that's imperative is under resources. Do you see how this here is already showing me this yellow one here? It means that there's an unmet requirement. If we click on there, the system already knows that there's something missing, and it knows that it's an employed instructor. Now, obviously, you know that this could also be a non-substantive instructor, but what we've done is saved ourselves a bit of time to automatically, anytime an ILS course is booked, that it's going to attach the type of resource it is. We need those in the system, and this saves you a bit of time when you do start booking in more activity. Like if you had to do 5 ILS courses and you didn't have an instructor for any of them, at least you don't have to manually go and add this. Now, remember this course was for a 12-person ILS course, so I actually do need one more instructor here. So I do need to add another resource in. So we're going to hit add. And we can leave it as a non-substantive instructor. It's likely they're going to be the ones who are going to cover this anyways. So we can leave the rest of this blank, because we don't have any of the details and we don't know who the instructor is. So we're going to hit save. Go OK, go back to resource requirement maintenance. We'll go back to our details page, and now you can see I've got 2 unmet resources. The system already knows that I've got 2 instructors that I need. So we're going to hit save. Now that we've created the course in the system, I'm just going to double check of what it looks like. So I'm going to go to the 13th of May. The calendar's automatically going to revert you back to today's date. So just bear that in mind and always be mindful of what date you're actually looking at. So if we go to the 13th of May, I'm just going to hide my sessional courses because there's a lot already going on this day. So I'm going to look for my Adam House day. Now I have one here, and this is the reason that my venue was clashing. We've already got Jamie doing recertification courses there. This may or may not actually happen. It could potentially be that Tash does want a full day ILS course there because these are new staff that they need onboarded and they're not going to be suitable for a recertification course. This course is also only going to take up 1 room as well because there's only going to be 6 people. So this could easily actually run at Adam House. Now, the other thing that I do when I check these is imagine if I put in the wrong date and then I go to the 13th of May and I don't see my course here. And then I waste a lot of time going in to create a new course when I actually had already. So I always second guess my courses in the courses class section. And I'm going to filter through to go date created. Because what this is going to do is exactly like an Excel spreadsheet. It's going to show me the last date that I booked an activity. So maybe it said the 12th of May here, and I'm like, that's why it wasn't showing on my calendar. Anything that needs to change, I always update this because then I kind of know what course did I just put in. If you don't see date created, you guys all know by now, add anything in your columns that appear here through this list. So if I didn't have date created, this is where I would just add another column here and then put in date created. Use this constantly. If you guys are ever updating the instructor forecast, this is the best way to do it with that date created. If I did accidentally put this wrong course in, maybe it was supposed to be a recertification course again, and now I've used the wrong template. So all of the instructors that might be booked that I'm going to choose to attend this day, they're all going to receive the wrong information, and we're going to receive the wrong information as well. So I'm going to go in here. If this was incorrect, I've right-clicked on my course. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the very bottom, and I'm going to say delete. Are you sure you want to delete this course? I'm going to say yes. Takes a bit of time. Item successfully deleted. So now if I go into my course, I can't see it anymore. I can even go and check back in my calendar and go to the 13th of May. And it's not in here anymore. I don't see Adam House other than the one that Jamie was already allocated to. So that's how you guys can create a course.